doing? Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your Friday afternoon with me. Yes, yes, indeed. I know. Yes, I don't know if you can hear my music. Got Roberta Flack singing, throat glowing, life is good. I am thankful to God to have this opportunity to talk about Black health, Black wealth. Ah, we are so blessed, y'all. We are so blessed to celebrate life. I am JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group. My gift from God, my purpose, my service to you. Yes, I am spending my life empowering our community, sharing financial empowerment. And God blessed me with Afro economics. And I came out with the book. I even have a children's book. Yeah. And the 10th principle of Afro economics is Black health, Black wealth. So on some Fridays, I talk about every Friday morning, we do our members only meeting. And on some Friday afternoons, we do the Black Health, Black Wealth. And on some Friday afternoons, I talk about entrepreneurship, which is the seventh principle. And a lot of Fridays through COVID, we did entrepreneurship because it is very important for um, me to share my experiences of because God blessed me with the opportunity to be an entrepreneur for so many years. And when I started the firm in 1995, by the grace of God, that I didn't have um, a JB Bryan out there talking about entrepreneurship or financial empowerment. And it's, and I wanted to make sure that you have opportunities that I didn't have. I believe that our purpose in life is to make life better for those who come after us, right? Let me turn this light on. I think that might be a little better. The I forget light. Let there be light. Yeah, that's a little better. I'll think about it later and I'll go, why did you turn the light on? There's another light there, but it is like way up. Let's try this. Woo. Oh wow. Y'all can really see me now. Deal. Miss Davis, thank you for coming into the studio. I thank God for you. Chris will not turn on her camera. Chris, as a gift to me, share yourself. Share yourself, girlfriend. Share your face. Why come and close yourself off to me like that? She's just like, come, Miss Davis, she's just there. But she won't talk to me. She's just there, like it's kind of it's like a lurk. You just lurking on me like that. Just doing me like that. It's like somebody coming over to your house to visit, but they only sit in the driveway. Come on, Chris. Come in the house. Down south, you go outside. Come on in the house. Come on. Come on, Chris. We're gonna talk about Black health, Black wealth. Like if we take care of our health, we can keep more money in your pocket because you won't have to spend the money on your health. Do you know how much money is spent on uncovered health care expenses? No, please feel free to chat with me. I can see most of your chat if the restream system works correctly. So but it will pop up in the comments area for me. So please feel free to chat and any questions that you have, because I really want um to elaborate on this topic because it was really important to me. My precious child made said, "Mom, please don't bring me up when you bring up this topic." So I already didn't keep my word, right? Because I already brought her up. But she's such a big part of me, baby doll. The but she is going to be turning a magical age, and in an age where when you turn an age and alcohol becomes available to you, like sometimes people feel like that is the way that you're supposed to celebrate, and we don't take alcohol as seriously as people should, or the habit of drinking, or the lifestyle of drinking, or the necessity of drinking. And those of you who have known me all my life will know that I never, thank God, adapted that habit or that desire or interest in drinking. So the um and for for serious reasons, because unfortunately I watched people that I really cared about die from alcohol related diseases, like things that were caused by drinking, and families falling apart from it. So that it just becomes like, oh, it was just a natural choice, that's like something that is just not important. But I feel like, good afternoon back to you, Ms. Anderson. But I feel like there are definitely, people who have brought, alcohol is in their life, and I don't like have any problem with it. Like, you know, some of the people I really love, some of my best friends, some of the people who I admire the most drink. And then I allow Miss Davis to come in the room. I'm just joking. Like that ain't even funny.
It's really okay.
Exactly. But there's like, you know, I would say like the overwhelming majority of adults that I know drink. I don't really know another adult that doesn't drink. I don't think. Even the people that I know that say that they don't drink, they drink. Like they'll go, I don't drink. And then their next sentence will be, except for like sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll, they'll go, I mean, not really. And then it'll be like, oh, but like, so I mean, when I say like I don't drink, I really don't drink. Like, you know what I mean? Most people say like I don't drink, and then it's always like a but, because they really don't think that drinking like once a week is drinking, or whatever. But the drinking is drinking according to the cancer research, that they found that even small amounts of alcohol, evidence has shown, has increased the risk of breast cancer being found. So the we're not going to acknowledge you, Chris, because you won't turn on your camera. And after 3 or 4 weeks of not turning on your camera, it's hard for me to trust you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I can't trust. They say you cannot trust people who don't use cuss words, and I don't trust people who don't turn on their camera. You have to cuss and turn on your camera in order to qualify for security clearance.
Okay.
Look, so Ms. Davis, say a cuss word for me. I'm just joking. No, you don't have to. But I know you
Oh, which one? I mean, you want the one with four syllables, or you want the one with one?
because I know I can trust you. So, hey, like there was like some sort of like research done on that, like that people who use cuss words like are more trustworthy. And I was like, I know that's right. Like, but the not like cussing at people, but just that, like, just use them like we're not. I haven't cussed at a person, like, you know what I mean. When people will say, I cussed that person out, like I've never cussed a person out, like, but
Really?
yeah, I've never cussed a person out, like,
No.
I don't feel comfortable with that. But I'd be like, "See, exactly. You guys teach me how to do that. JB, say, that, like, but I'm sure, but I like to use like um cuss words to express like when I'm frustrated or something like that. Like, there's like some good cuss words, you know.
There are.
Yeah, yeah, there's some good ones. Yeah, but that was like that. We have to discuss that, like, what I mean, like trustworthiness on Black Health, like the ways to prove trustworthiness. But but the research, like when they researched it, was really interesting because um, once like you start um, seeing these things when they're talking about cancer a lot, they never tell you about things that you could do to avoid it. There's always a discussion about going to do exams, going to do exams, going to do exams. But there's no power in going to do exams unless you're doing things to avoid getting a positive diagnosis.
Hmm.
Like, why would I just want to go and like let you like find shit? See, that's a good, like, it almost just slipped out. You just gonna put me, you know what I'm saying? See, it's just fine. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that is not prevention.
Hmm.
And so I remember one time, like, meeting this doctor, and she was like talking about, there's nothing there, but I would like to, go a little deeper. I would like to go in and like stick this in your breast, and I would like to lead this little thing in your titty. And I said, well, why would you like to lead that in my titty? And she said, because we want to be able to go back and find that in your titty. And I said, well, why would you want to go back and find an inanimate thing in my breast when if you can't find anything in my breast, why should I help you go find it next year? Why do you have to put something in my breast, a chemical, this little thing to help you go find something? Why
Hmm.
why should I do that? Well, there's no evidence. The lady starts yelling at me. Now you taking my money. Now this radiologist starts yelling at me because I asked her a question. And then she slams the chair like this black bitch. That was her attitude.
Hmm.
That's another very appropriate positioning of a cuss word. That's the way she was acting. Like she was thinking, this black bitch questioning me. Boom! pushed that chair. Like I had no right to have any sort of inquiry. Like I was explaining to my daughter, she was talking about the dentist's office. Like she was asking them a question, they were like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. She was like saying, asking them why was she having this pain, and she was having pain because her tooth was erupting. The wisdom tooth was erupting. They saw that. They did an X-ray on her, and they said, oh, look. She said, I'm all this discomfort. Explains to them. I said because many people feel you don't have any right to question them, and they don't
Mhm.
have any reason to answer to you. So instead of them saying, I will make sure that the physician talks to you about the x-ray, but when she left, they just said, you have no cavities, which means we don't have no money in your mouth. See you next 6 months or whatever. Get the hell out. And that's basically what the lady said. There's no money in your titties, but we want to leave something there so we can find something next time. No. So a friend of mine did it and kept letting them do it, leaving something there, leaving something there, leaving something there, leaving something there. And I said, if they leave enough shit in there, they gonna find something because their stuff is they're leaving garbage in there every time. So what happened?
Mhm.
So what happened? Like 6 or 7 times later.
They found something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When there is evidence to prove that there are connections between the radiation between every time you let them do that. You know what I'm saying? But imagine between what you're putting in and the radiation and what that reaction is. They could be creating some sort of chemical reaction to help you give them what they want. So
Mhm.
you're disturbing your cells, possibly. I don't know, but you can't even ask because she's slamming the chair up against the table. There's no evidence to prove. So I gotta wait 10 years. Then you find the evidence. Before she decided to slam the table up against the chair up against the table, I said, is there anything that I could do to protect myself? Because her argument was, since you have like a family history of da da da, because when they get you with the family history, like, oh, it's on, like popcorn. You're supposed to be terrified. It's like that. It's over. Like has nothing to do with your choices and anything else. It's over. You're supposed to just give it over to them. You're supposed to forget about your relationship with God. You're supposed to just be miserable and wait until they tell you you're sick. No, it's time for us to wake up and start taking steps to be healthy. And if the worst case, something happens to us, you did everything you could do to protect yourself and your family. So when my daughter started talking about birthday approaching and this and that, I explained to her the risk to her health of participating in this worldly behavior of, of the worldly behavior. That is like, people might find certain activities entertaining, but research has shown even a small consumption of alcohol is increasing your risk of being diagnosed with breast cancer, even a small. And now there's new data from a large scale genetic study confirms that alcohol directly causes cancer. Worldwide, alcohol may cause around 3 million deaths each year, including over 400,000 from cancer.
Hmm.
Woo!
Oh my goodness. Oh,
And you think that if the government didn't make a whole lot of money on alcohol, that would not be an issue? And then during COVID, the liquor stores were left open.
oh, they had to be.
Reverend Brown, you know, they left it open. I said, these are necessary. Exactly. These are necessary. So then all of these increase in addiction, increase in mental health problems, increase in deaths, increase in cancer death, increase and oh, they're like, whoa, business is good over here for those who get paid on sickness. And those of us who still need to work over there struggling trying to get an approval for disability. They're like, you ain't that bad. You can do it. So I asked the lady, is there anything that you can do that people can do to try to reduce their risk, and she was like, no, no. Some people just have it, some people just don't. Some people get it, some people don't. That's what they really want you to believe. That it's just a victim thing. It's the blame it on your mama thing. It's the you don't have anything you can do to reduce your risk thing. So generation after generation after generation, I'm not gonna let my daughter think that. I'm not even gonna let myself think that. So I started doing a thermography, which doesn't have the radiation of the mammogram. No, it's not covered by insurance. No, I pay for it myself. But it's about making the investment in yourself.
Mhm.
There's thousands of dollars of health things I pay for myself. I pay for body fat analyses myself. I pay for personal training myself. I pay for, all of these things. I pay for lab work every 90 days myself. Because they're only gonna pay for it if you're sick. I pay for, no, nothing synthetic. I'm not gonna have anything synthetic. They said, "Oh, your progesterone is low." I said, oh, if I do something to make sure that I'm in balance, it's got to be healthy. They said, "Oh yeah, there's some made out of wild yams, but it costs you 100 and something." What? I pay 100 and something. I'm not gonna put the synthetic in there. Why? When you have yams that can be made and used, and you can help yourself. But the only way that you do these things and you know these things is because you investigated yourself. You investigated yourself. But also, if you look farther, you'll see that if you are drinking, the hormonal issues that you'll have will be way farther than anything that wild yams can help you with, because the drinking is constantly taking you out of balance. And when it goes into a menopause phase, like many people are feeling out of control and sweaty and upset, my you don't see that, thank God, from me. Because mostly I think because of the I don't drink. And I exercise almost every day of the week. It really makes a difference. And so when we're thinking about like, what can you do to reduce your overall, cancer risk, there's like, information for us to like take control over ourselves. Like we really can, like cancer.gov, the NIH, great information. Like for us, like we can, all we have to do is want to. Like, even last week I shared you information about NIH had information, and they have it has on there the alcohol and cancer risk. The and there's evidence that alcohol drinking can cause cancer. Even on their website. And it says particularly the more alcohol. So then, like, don't even use it as a scapegoat, because we also have like that even a little bit of drinking can increase your chances of breast cancer. We're going past that now, and we're talking about all forms of cancer. And it says like that they have a report on carcinogens, things that cause cancer. And it says the evidence indicates that the more alcohol a person drinks, the regularly over time, the higher his or her risk in developing alcohol associated cancer. And that have and it says those who consume four or more. Like, it's interesting to me is that the government sites always encourage you to drink more than the health websites. Like, if you go to the cancer.org, it will say you shouldn't drink at all. If you go to the government sites that are where they're making money off you drinking, it will say don't drink more than four, ladies. It's so scary. You really have to look at what their incentive and who's talking, because it's so fucking blatant. Another appropriate cuss. Because when it comes to like our health and our death, I seriously, dear God, please forgive me. I want to cuss because it just like makes me sick how much information is just kept from us, or how misled that we're always told, like, in moderation, in moderation. So nobody has any fucking discipline. Everybody thinks they can do everything. How about like nobody thinks that they can hear no? Nobody can say no. And I know that Reverend Brown will back me up on this as a minister. He can't tell nobody no. So he has to sit there and go, well, try not to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell you how many like people don't call me because they probably like, oh, that JB Bryan, she gonna tell me don't go broke. She got that whole refuse to be broken. I'm broke, so I ain't gonna call her. You know what I'm saying? So for a long time, I was like, well, you know what? Don't be too hard. But you know what? Don't call me, because if you want to be broke, don't come this way. Because I ain't got much time left on this earth. And I want to help people who don't want to be broke. Really, I've like wasted way too much time on trying to convince people that they can change their life. So now I could just spend the rest of my life, because 30 years deep, on helping people who don't care.
See, JD, it's called drinking responsibly.
Whatever. It's like the people who pay off, they refinance their house, pay off all their credit cards, and typically within 1 year, what?
They're back where they were.
You know what I'm saying? What is that called? making them rich off you. Now you got your house all refinanced. You gotta still pay your house and you still gotta pay that credit card back off again. And I see people do it over and over and over again. You know what I mean? So leave me the hell alone. You wanna be broke, you know what I'm saying? Be broke. I'm not gonna be broke. Cause I'm gonna be broke dealing with that. You ain't gonna make me broke. It really makes a difference who you're around. So let's just let me and my crew, let's be rich together. You know what I'm saying? And all the poor people avoid us, we good. Because there's somebody out there for them. There's somebody out there that'll grab them. But it certainly ain't going to be the people who want to be rich. And that's what I need to realize. I should have known. If somebody had told me that, if somebody had cared enough about me, which is really pretty much right. Like there really was, because I remember that brother when I left that firm. He said, "CJB, you want the whole problem. I don't want the whole problem. So I'm gonna keep my black hairs right here." And now I know what he was talking about. Like he was like my age now. You know what I mean? Then, and he knew. He said, "Boy, I hope they don't do what I think they might do to her." So it like to me, it's just no. You got to want it. You have to want it. If you don't want it, then it will sneak up on you and ruin your life. And that little moderation, that's what the research is saying. That moderation will ruin your health. It says a little bit is enough to mess up because it increases the estrogen levels in women so much. Because what alcohol is pure sugar. So you just look, and what do women like? Sweet alcohol. So they don't just drink liquor. They want sweet alcohol. Most women, they gotta get that sweet stuff. So they just not alcohol. They get a great big red lobster, pina colada. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes it even worse. But they think that's making it less of a sin. Oh, I just had a pina colada. Like, oh my goodness, just pouring it into your breast one by one. That's the way I see when I see people going to. They'll be like a cancer fundraiser, and they'll be like, "Turn up, we raising money for the cancer society." I go, that is so contradictory to the reality of what cancer is caused by. Don't they know? And I take everything within me to go, do not make a comment, girl. You better keep it moving. If you make a comment, because they'll be what? Mad at me. I know that JB Bryan did not make a comment. How dare she put the truth on here? Like I did the research. Well, according to cancer.org, the even a little bit of alcohol, like you're turning up right here, can increase they'd be mad as hell.
JB, it probably wouldn't be what you do is you would have them drinking actually more, all because of what you're saying. You know, instead of 2 drinks, they've ordered 4 now.
Well, good. Then we would just know that they're suicidal. Then we know, like, that would be like, then we know where you're coming from. Then we know that you just want to be, you know what I'm saying? That takes it to a whole new level of mental health. And there are people who do want to be sick. Like they want to be sick. But there's another group who really is desiring to be healthy. But some people want to be sick. And they like they do these things to themselves because they want the attention of being sick. And they're like, I'm not sick yet. I was in the braid shop and this young lady said, if I'm gonna go to the doctor because if I got diagnosed with if I get breast cancer, like my housing will be taken care of. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there could be different incentives, like you know what I mean, which is sad. But if economic times get bad enough, you know what I'm saying? Like people might have to go to those type of you know what I mean, extents. I mean, if you look in our community at some of the things that we're doing to ourselves, crack, marijuana, you know what I mean, like cigarettes with a paragraph that says this is bad for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that except for suicide? I mean, that's like I don't care about myself, and I'm just hoping this takes me out. And the sicker I get, the bigger my government benefit. That's pretty bad, but it is something that we need to consider. You know what I mean? As a community, or is that a mental health challenge that we have? Because like you said, like if I say this will make you sick and it motivates you to do more, why? You know, this is a you know, this is a this causes what you're saying that you want to end, you know, and you don't care, then you know what? What is it just something for you to celebrate? You know, most people, you know, that like study wellness are looking for any way to kill cancer cells. That's what I mean, literally, that's what I'm doing. I don't want cancer to take out another family member of mine, nor diabetes, nor anything. The reason that I'm doing this Black Health, Black Wealth is because I really want my community to be healthy. I want myself to be healthy. And I know how bad it feels to not be healthy. And I know how miserable it feels to like be out there searching for an answer. Why do I feel this way? What's wrong with me? What's going on? Like, you know, like and I do believe that the word says that we can heal ourselves. And it says that God has given us everything within us to heal us. I do believe that we have that capacity. You know, the Mr. Turner says, I'm thinking we're fighting generational curses that are linked to bad eating. Amen. Learn from surviving slavery. Exactly. Struggle in this community to get more healthy. Amen. 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 You know, Mr. Turner, when I discovered that through I think it was Booker T. Washington or um Carter G. Woodson, I think, was talking about that on weekends, slave masters would drug slaves and get them drunk so that the slaves would be incapacitated so that they would stay in line. Um, that is a lot of the behavior that we see even in our highly educated people of all colors. Like when I went to UVA, I was shocked at how much my white classmates drank. I thank God I never took a drink, but I spent most of my Fridays helping my white friends get themselves out of the toilet and get up and make sure they were okay. I don't know what they were trying to get away from. I would get back in the dorm from working and they'd just be drunk. And like that's a, I never saw my father. I never saw my father intoxicated, you know. Um my my mother would be more likely to drink than my father. Um the that it's a blessing that I didn't have to experience um that like but especially with my father that would have been hard like to have like your father like the strongest person in the house intoxicated and because my father was such a huge figure to me and probably the closest person to me in my family. I was so close to him. So probably also why I'm not interested in drinking. And neither one of his parents drank. His father was a minister, and like so he grew up in a household with no drinking. So I guess that did have a lot to do with it. And it was amazing that he would marry a woman that drank. But my mom's whole family drank. But it's different. Like I think my mom is related to Miss Davis. I'm just joking. I'm just
Yeah,
because
one of these first cousins.
she on your side, exactly. Yeah, because she on the light skin side. Like
Yeah, she might be my first cousin.
y'all light y'all light skinned people be drinking. Exactly. Exactly. That's funny if we research that. If light skinned people drink more than dark skinned people. Funny, they got research on everything. That would be interesting to find out. But from my family side, that is true. The light skinned people drink a lot more than the dark skinned people. Is that true for your family?
It's the same. It's this really the same.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Uh
I'm gonna ask the dark skinned people. I'm coming to your family reunion, and I'm gonna do a survey myself. And I'll bet them dark skinned people are not gonna be drinking. They're gonna be like, "Look, ma'am, this is water. We just over there drinking. I'm drinking water. Why?
Right.
Why?
They're drinking water, all right. We're already planning it. We're planning how much liquor we're going to have.
Oh, they
Yeah.
say water. They go. I didn't even ask for that. We done got that.
Everybody who is probably not going to have anything to drink are the people that are part of the clergy. Now, here's what they probably will have theirs in their room and they won't let us see it.
All
But
dark skin. All
yeah,
dark skin. I'm just joking.
no,
Clergy, clergy, good dark skinned people.
it's the same. It's the same from what I can see. Just go up the street to the liquor store and see. Check
I'm
the
gonna
number.
survey it. I'm gonna find out.
Just sit outside of a liquor store. You're going to see the same.
Don't worry, dark skinned people. I'm coming to save y'all. I know. I know. I know. We just making this up. They don't drink. That is interesting. It got something to do with it. I know. I know. It would, but that would be interesting to find out, if that went back, like Mr. Turner was saying, is that if light skinned Negroes had more exposure to alcohol historically, and if it led to, you know what I mean, more drinking later on, you know what I mean, where if darker skin didn't until they, you know what I mean, work began to be exposed, or if they, if they didn't, or when they started intermarrying or something like that. But that would be interesting. They'd be like, that is not interesting. That is a stupid study. I'm like, well, no, it's interesting to black people. but there's been studies on more stupid stuff than that. So, but there's definitely like things like head and neck cancer are connected to alcohol, liver cancer, breast cancer, colorectal cancer is connected to alcohol drinking. Esophageal cancer is another that the National Institute of Health has connected to um, the alcohol increasing the risk of that cancer. And it says that with breast cancer, it says it has consistently found an increased risk of breast cancer with alcohol intake. It says concluded that for women who have never smoked, light and moderate drinking would still um, increase their risk. So even if they didn't smoke, but they drank, their cancer risk was still increased. And that's interesting, because then they'll break out like, could it have really been the smoking that caused it? And they're saying, like, you know, even if even if they didn't smoke, it was, you know, they're definitely connecting it to the drinking. Mm. So it's saying the alcohol, how does the alcohol affect the risk of cancer? And it says how you metabolize or break down ethanol in alcoholic drinks. Um, it becomes a toxic chemical and a human carcinogen, and it damages both your DNA, the genetic material that makes up genes and proteins. Isn't that interesting? So it's doing that regardless. So, like, when we do the argument of, oh, in moderation, do we really want to moderately do that to ourselves?
Drink responsibly.
But do we really want to do that, like damage our DNA? It's saying that,
Think about it. When
yeah,
we're drinking, we're drinking. Nobody thinks about all of that. Nobody worries about it. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on? Let's swallow and keep going.
so,
What they talking? Oh no, girl, listen, pour me up. Okay.
well, check this out. It's generating reactive oxygen species, which can damage DNA, proteins, lipids in the body through a process called oxidation. And then it's impairing the body's ability to break down and absorb a variety of nutrients that may be associated with cancer risk, including vitamin A, your B complex, your folate, your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your vitamin E, and carotenoids. And it's increasing your blood levels of estrogen, a sex hormone linked to the risk of breast cancer specifically. So it's like, and then it's doing that for men too, I guess. Like men that drink, it's increasing their estrogen. So like a man that drinks, like it's it's increasing their chances of getting man boobs, you know, and because it's increasing their estrogen. And they probably don't think about that, like, or they wouldn't be. Why do they call them man boobs? Because they're boobs. Why do they have to call them man boobs? But there's boobs on a man. See, it's silly. I take it back. They increase a man's chances of getting boobs. And men get breast cancer too.
Hmm. I've heard that.
You
Yes.
know, so we want to. This is real. Is this really making you feel guilty or making you look at, gosh,
Uh-uh. Not at all.
that's good. Like this is your good sample group.
There may be some others that may, it
No,
may.
no. If it weren't for you, I think I was changing the world. I would close it out and I'd be like, I know what I did. I know somebody's gonna be changed today. She's like,
Uh-uh.
no,
I wish some of the other ones were in here. You should have put this out to the 9 o'clock group.
exactly.
You've been cussed out by now.
Mr. Jones is like, I'm not gonna be there Wednesday because I know you're gonna probably talk about something stupid. I'm sick of that health stuff anyway. No, exactly. No, he's not. Mr. Jones is not here because he had something to do.
Hmm. I tell you what, pose this topic next week at 9 o'clock. I'm not gonna say a word.
This is very important. Exactly. This is very important. Like, and it's like, there are actually like things that are just around us that are just like can cause or that are carcinogenic, like or carcinogen that can cause cancer that are like in the air, which is like kind of frightening if you think about it. Like on the NIH website, they have like you can put in like cancer causing substances in the air and it's like in the environment. And the list is so darn long
Mhm.
that we're like walking through every day.
Roll on deodorant and that kind of thing. The detergent you wash your clothes in. That it's all sorts
No,
of things.
no, I'm talking about like just in the air. Like they're talking about like just in the air. Like, you know, don't mess with my roll on deodorant. I'm just joking. But
Oh,
I know what you're talking about though, exactly. But isn't that funny? Like with everybody got something that matters. Like you like alcohol, I like roll on deodorant. I'm just deal.
yeah.
But they be like, JB, roll on deodorant, you can't use that anymore. But like but there are people who like say like don't, but because of like that aluminum, you know what I mean, and some
Hmm.
of the deodorant. So I tried to switch, and it's just I just didn't feel fresh. Like you know what I'm saying? I was like, so every time I put on my deodorant, I go like I try to just like we just not put as much because I feel guilty about it. But I'm like, I can't just use like just anything. I need some real deodorant. But there's an argument that some of the deodorant might be connected to Alzheimer's risk because of the aluminum and things like that.
Hmm.
So,
Drinking canned drinks and stuff like that. Perhaps canned beer. That's why my beer is not in the can; it's in the bottle.
but they used to have like some sort of chemical inside the cans,
Yeah.
but they probably don't have those inside the cans anymore. I don't think.
They probably got new chemicals in there now. I don't know. I just don't really try to stay away from canned drinks if I
Oh,
can.
so you can do the bottle instead. Because
Yeah, I like bottle.
I was like, if it's not in the can, then what? Okay.
No, no.
Does it cost more for a bottle?
No, well, it's a little bit more for bottle versus can, but not that much more. No, but I preferably. Now, if I go somewhere, I'm out and, like maybe a cookout or whatever I got invited to and just didn't have my own. If you got canned beer, heck yeah, I'm going to drink it up. But on just, you know,
Like,
preferably.
but what would happen? Like, what could I say like that you would like? I'm never gonna drink again. now I've said, like, if you stop drinking, here you are, a grown woman, and you are very healthy.
Mhm.
You could stop now and you'd be even healthier. I mean, that's what I just said. Like, here you are very healthy, and you should stop and you'll be even healthier. Because every time you drink, it's altering your DNA. What could I what else could I add that would make you like, I'm not gonna drink anymore?
$10 million.
Yeah, right.
That would be about it. Other than that, no. I can tell you right now, no.
Really?
Nah. Ain't doing it.
Really?
No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
No.
wow.
Mm-mm. If if I felt that this is something I do leisurely, if I felt like, and we all justify why we do it, but if I felt like this was probably causing a problem with, let's say, work related stuff, or I'm missing appointments, or I'm missing bills and payments, and it's just siphoning all of the money I have, then perhaps, yeah, I'd make some other changes, but no.
But
Mm-hmm.
but being diagnosed with breast cancer is not frightening enough.
If that were the case, I should have been eating up with it by now, but
Oh, so because you grown and you got fat, like you think it's okay. Like,
I mean, I should be one of the ones that should be eating up from head to the last strand of hair from my.
yeah,
I
but you
should
got
be covered in it, but
but I'm gonna
if
tell
I
you,
am, I can't tell it.
I know, and I think that there's an age where I don't think that like people should really participate in a lot of the stuff that they try to get people to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you say, "Oh, I'm gonna," if God forbid that happened, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it might be more likely that you would die from something else than from that. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and then a lot of times people, grown folk, they die from the treatment that is so aggressive than from the cancer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the because a lot of times they'll do stuff and they'll go, "We're gonna do this because we don't want it to grow." But what if it doesn't grow?
Mm.
How do you know it wasn't there for 20 years already? No, like you really don't know.
I can say this, just looking back in my family genetically and looking back at the line and stuff, on the Davis side of the family, we lived to be like in our 90s, late 80s, and there has been quite a bit. Davis Harris Jones, that whole side of my dad's side of the family, big drinkers. I mean, last one in the bed, first one up in the morning. My Uncle Herman would drink all day. He never got drunk though. I always found that utterly amazing. I guess he had a high tolerance for it,
Was he
but
like this?
no, he was dark.
You are making that up. No, you know he was like this. I knew you were gonna say he wasn't. That
he,
makes sense.
he was dark, but then my uncle Robert was, I think, 96, and he was a light skinned guy. So I don't know.
He
Yeah.
was a light skin. Herman, that's a light skin name. Come
Oh
on.
no, Herman was dark and cussed everybody out.
I thought I slipped. I thought I was gonna catch you at a weak moment.
No, mm-mm. No, it's all fact. In our family, we talk about it all the time.
I'm gonna find. I'm gonna get to that family reunion. And be like, Uncle Herman, you remember him? We was light skinned man. They'll be like, oh yeah. I'll be like, see, I told
Well,
you.
now he died some years ago, but
He was very light skinned. They're gonna be like, yeah, yeah.
well, my Uncle Robert, they were all in the 90s and late 80s. Yeah.
Exactly. You remember Herman, light skin, drink a lot. Yeah, they were like, yo, yo.
Yeah.
But like that's, I know what you're saying. But I don't know. But I just mean like I had that sometimes you get blessed and you get through and you don't have to go through a lot of the process if things do, if something does happen, you know what I mean, something happened, you really don't have to get caught up in the regular system. I do think that, I hope that you will always take control over your health and do things the way you want to do it.
I'm going to say thus far,
Yeah,
if there's anything that I do, it would be, like alcohol consumption, but I don't smoke. I don't smoke marijuana. I haven't had a crack habit and heroin and none of that other foolishness. That's just, my number one foolishness thing.
that's
But,
right.
yeah,
Exactly. Like,
we're hanging on.
can I have one bite? No, in my opinion.
Well,
No, no, no,
oh
no.
my God, if I could just calculate the amount of money I've spent.
Exactly. And then, and then you have to treat other people.
Well, yeah, sometimes, hey,
I got you. I know.
I got this round.
Exactly. Exactly.
You
No.
get the next one.
I'm so glad I don't drink because I think I would be like a lot of fun if I was drunk. Because I've been accused of being drunk and I wasn't even drunk. And I was like, this lady was like, you were drunk, you were having a good time. And I was like, okay. But I was like, I know I wasn't drunk because I never drink. Like, but I was like, but she was probably like, she has to be drunk because that girl is having way too much fun. But I just, but I can imagine. I don't know, but I might be the type that drinks and then it would like slow me down and I'd be mad. Like, I'm drunk, like get drink. So that, thank God I don't. But I definitely know that even a smidgen is not good for you. It's just not. Like, it's just not. And there's like no way for you to, I mean, you want to clean a wound or something, the that it there's even like this thing where people feel like, I know someone who thought that red wine reduced their chances of getting cancer.
Hmm.
So they use that as an excuse to start drinking, and they eventually were diagnosed with cancer. There's no evidence. There is no evidence at the National Institute of Health. There is no evidence that drinking red wine reduces the risk of cancer. And you can find doctors to say that shit. They will tell their patients that shit. Oh, Bismuth, drink a, drink a glass of red wine at night, help you go to sleep. There's nothing wrong with one glass a night because they do it.
That's why.
You do it. Like you, so since I do it, of course, certainly you're no better than me. You can do it. You do it. That's it. There is no evidence. We are victims of stupidity. Stupid people telling us stupid stuff. And then we believe them because they look smart with a certificate on the wall. We should go in there and slam it on the floor. Dummies. Dummies.
Hmm.
trust God, trust your instincts, trust your instincts, you know. Mm, mm. Be careful. You know, don't you think about like your diet? You know, the processed food has got to go. Don't eat processed food in moderation. And I don't believe in moderation. You know, let's think about some key things before you leave me. Being active each day, avoiding alcohol, you know, the processed meats, hot dogs, sausages. I was telling one of our members because I was asking like, "What did you eat for breakfast?" And she was talking about a sausage that she ate, and I was saying like, "I don't eat sausage. I just eat meat. I cook meat. I cook chicken. I'll eat a piece of chicken for breakfast." How amazing is that, right? And it's so much cheaper than sausage. When we've grown up our whole life, I know I have, on eating sausage because it's breakfast time. Do you know how much money they've made off us? Because it's breakfast time, we think we got to eat sausage. So
Hmm.
you get a pound of sausage, you pay twice as much as you pay for a pound of chicken.
Wow.
Isn't that something? It's good, good. We should, but and then a pound of sausage has crap and a little bit of chicken. And most sausage, unless you eat the really expensive kind, like I was buying, organic with no sugar, you know, so you know I was paying. Now I really save money because I just cook meat. Don't anything processed. I'm running away from it. I'm run, run. Don't even stop. Run. So limit processed meats. Try to keep your weight down. It says that science says uh, says that the relationship between cancer and excess body weight is real. It says that about 11% of cancer cases in women and about 5% of cancer cases in men are related to excess body weight. And that's something, you know. So by lowering your body weight, it will reduce your cancer um, risk, and also it's going to protect your gallbladder, liver, kidney, everything. So the so let's just make sure we have a commitment to just eating food, not like stuff. A lot of the products are just stuff, like just processed stuff. They're not even nutritious. Don't do sugary drinks. It's just like drinking alcohol. Basically, you're just pouring sugar into your body. You're going to increase your weight. It says, you know, weight gain, obesity is connected to 13 types of cancer. They don't tell us about that. So sugar is gonna make us fat. Processed food is going to make you fat. Fat causes at least 13 types of cancer. Weight gain and obesity is considered a cause of 13 types of cancer. Don't be sedentary. Get up. Don't lay down. Keep moving. Keep moving. Like I was saying this morning, I was thinking about like continuing to take my PhD classes. And I was like, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to stop moving. I've been moving, I've been moving, and I'm doing my stuff. I'm setting records. I got to keep moving. I guess I can do that when God says stop. But right now, I'm full throttle. I'm full throttle. I don't even get enough time on my motorcycle. There's no reason for me to stop. I'm just so tired of sitting at that desk. I'm so tired of sitting at that desk. Like, I thank God that I'm tired of sitting at that desk. That desk will kill you. The desk is now considered to be more dangerous than smoking. Did you know that, Miss Davis?
The desk is. I could almost see that. Yeah, I could
Yeah,
almost see that.
I know that that's why you are not, have not had the health problems. It's because you work so much. I know that.
Yeah.
You don't really have a lot of time to eat. You got these two jobs. You're going from job to job. You're busy. You don't eat a lot. You keep your weight down. You keep moving. That really has contributed a lot because that alcohol is one, but all of these other things you got on point. Your weight is down. You don't eat a lot of processed food. You move it.
And I was, heavily involved in distance running. I just really stopped that over the last 2 years, but that's kind of really been my claim to fame.
Your body fat is low. Yes,
Yeah.
I mean that's huge. So even when you drink, like you're getting all of the toxins out of your body. Like a lot of people do toxic things, but they don't have anything to get it out of their lymphatic system. The
Yeah.
running is getting it out. Your movement now still gets it out. You just have to keep moving. When I stopped moving during COVID, I almost died. Getting sedentary will clog up your lymphatic system, and that's where those cancer cells start having a party. And it's real. They just don't talk to us like we have any sense. But if they would talk to us, we would know, like, oh, this is what's happening. I better keep it moving. Don't smoke. Don't smoke. Look into the thermography as an alternative to the mammograms. Try to limit your exposure to anything that is dealing with radiation. And there's extensive research now on mammograms to not being as often as they had initially thought. So what you could do is thermography, and if they say they see something, you go and you take it to a mammogram. Like, but the thermographies are heat light based, and they're supposed to be like more forward and more advanced than the mammograms. But it's not paid for, but it's not paid for by insurance, but it's more advanced, and you will be it's less invasive and not that whole pressing and the breast experience. Um, so you'll be happy, and we all men too should consider doing a thermography at least once in your life. I've even done like full body, but we deserve it. And then that but and then make a point to just keep records on yourself. I got into a habit of any lab work that's done, I have my copies. Any of those reports that are done, I keep copies. Have your file, have your pictures, have your copies. You take charge of your health care.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ms. Davis. You're the best.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm, mm. You know how good that is for you? Like, just like go like this, like, do you feel that? Like, it takes, it squeezes your blood, like, that's a good form of warm up. And then, like, ooh, and then, like, go, ooh. You feel the difference? Ooh, yeah. You should do that at work at night. And you put it, build it, build it, build it, build it, hold it as long as you can. Yeah. And then let it go. Because you're pulling all that blood in and then you let the blood go through. Yeah.
Oh, I could punch somebody. That's how I really feel.
Woo! That felt good. That felt good. But
Yeah.
like, you have to, stay in touch with that because some people are not strong enough to do that.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? To really like flex in and do you know how your grip strength is. But that helps your bones, like you're bringing your blood, you're rushing your blood into your bones, keep your bone density up.
In December, we're gonna Indian wrestle. You and I. Let's see who's the best. Ah!
Girl, I ain't trying to swing your little butt across the table. She'd be like, oh no, she doesn't hurt that lady. After you have a couple drinks, I'll be like, whoop, you be like, God. You be like, why she trying to wait till after I was dying? Because I want her weakest state. Right, Miss Anderson? Wait till she weak. Get it.
Oh boy. JB, I gotta go.
You be good.
All right.
Take care.
Have a good weekend.
Bye
All
bye.
right. Okay, bye.
Get your rest.
No, it's not gonna happen. Not this weekend. It'll happen on Monday though. Monday.
Amen.
All
Monday.
right.
Bye.
Bye.
Amen. She's such a blessing. Thank you all so much. Thank God for Miss Davis. Thank God for Reverend Brown. He was in there, he's quiet. Chris, we love you. She was in there, but she is quiet. Thank you, Miss Anderson. Thank you, Mr. Turner. Thank you, everybody out there that was in there, but quiet. I appreciate you. I love you. Have a wonderful weekend. And I totally get it. I totally get it. Yes. But I definitely encourage us all to like stay on this thing, learn as much as we can about ourselves and do it your way. Do it your way, but get it done. Make sure you check out alcohol use and breast cancer risk, what you need to know. Have a wonderful weekend too, Miss Anderson. You the best. Thank you. Y'all are so good. Thank you. Yeah. Don't forget to visit Afro Economics.